Hey everybody, Mrs. K, Lauren K here to show you a cool recipe that you can make using very few ingredients for breakfast. I like to start my day off with this recipe. I've showed this recipe to some of my students before. For those of you who have a Cooking with Lauren K cookbook, it is the Big Banana Pancake recipe found on page 64. So you can reference that, or you can click on the link for the recipe. It's posted so you can make it at your house, even if you do not have a Lauren K cookbook. So starts with a couple ingredients, and really two of the ingredients are not even necessary if you don't want them to be. So you can start with one banana. We're gonna take one banana. You can do this for a crowd. You can use a couple bananas if you have some to use up. These freeze really great as well. We're gonna use 3 eggs for this particular recipe, a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of cinnamon. So first thing that we're gonna do is get our griddle nice and hot. I do have some cooking over here already. You can use a griddle, or I'm gonna show you how to do this recipe on a skillet as well as a big banana pancake. You can do it in a regular 10-inch skillet, you can do it in a small skillet, or if you have a griddle like this here, you could do that as well. So you wanna get your griddle nice and hot so it's ready for you, or you wanna get your pan nice and hot, about medium low heat. You don't wanna burn it. So allow your item that you're gonna use for cooking your pancake to get hot while you're getting your batter ready. So we're gonna start with 1 medium-sized banana, and you wanna get that peeled and make sure that no eggs are rolling off your counter. Break that into a couple pieces. Take your fork and you wanna give that a nice mash. Bananas that are a little bit riper are better for this recipe because they mash up a little bit better. They have a little bit more flavor. So if you have some green bananas home, maybe let those sit on the counter for a few days. But if you can let those sit for a little while, that is the best case scenario. They mash up really nicely. Another thing that you could do if you have frozen bananas in your freezer, which I like to do with bananas that are left over, I'm not really ready to eat yet, you can use frozen bananas in this recipe as well. So once you get all of your bananas all mashed up, and here's a nice thing that you can do in your kitchen, get a garbage bowl for yourself. So instead of running to the garbage can 1,000 times, have a garbage bowl right next to you. I learned that from Rachel Ray, so I like to have my garbage bowl ready. This is also good for the eggs that you're gonna have. So we're gonna use 3 eggs. We're gonna use 1 whole egg, and then we're gonna separate our 2 other eggs. Reduces some of the saturated fat and calories if you're worried about that. You can just use 2 normal eggs. I think it makes the batter a little bit runnier and harder to flip, but whatever you'd like to do is fine. We're gonna separate that other egg. I just give it a nice little light tap, pull it apart. If you have an egg separator, you can use that as well. And just kind of put your yolk back and forth between the shell, just like that. You can use those for something else if you want to do a custard of some kind or a pudding. Really important, wash your hands. All right, that. So we're gonna take our other 2 ingredients, which are not completely necessary. You can use almond extract, you can use maple syrup extract if you want to. You're gonna do a little bit of vanilla, a couple drops, don't even need to measure. A couple shakes of cinnamon. Again, don't need to measure for those. And then you're gonna take your fork and whisk that all up so that you have a nice, consistent batter. You can get back in there and mash up those bananas again. For my basic foods class, we were just getting into our breakfast unit. So this is a really great recipe for everyone to see. I would have probably demonstrated this one in my classroom to show you guys. I love this recipe because it literally only has 2 ingredients, and they almost always have bananas in the store, even in the midst of a COVID-19 crisis. So once you get that all mixed up, that's gonna be your batter. And if you're using a griddle, you wanna take some cooking spray, coat it with a little bit of cooking spray to prevent sticking. I'll pull my griddle over here for you. I have some already going there. So you can use a spoon, you can use a measuring cup, you can just pour it right out of the bowl. I like to save on the amount of dishes that I have to do, so you can just pour it right out of the bowl if you want to. You want to pour about pancake-sized pancakes because they will expand. Just like that. You can add some blueberries, you can add some chocolate chips in there if you want to. My boys like the chocolate chips smeared on the top, which I'll show you in a couple minutes. So these ones were finished. I put them on one side, and once they look like you can see yellow the whole way through, they're ready to flip. So I'll let those, and if you have some movement of like your pancakes coming into each other, you can kind of slide those off to the side. So I'm gonna show you, if you make a big banana pancake, the flipping technique for all of this. So if you get it into your pan, kind of reach a point where you can slide and flip that pancake over. Takes a little bit of practice. I will say that the smaller pancakes are a little bit easier if you're making pancakes for the first time. So the big one, I like to eat it all by myself. It's only just above 200 calories. Without anything that you put on top. So I'm going to show you what this final big banana pancake looks like. So just like that. And then you can put, I like to put peanut butter, a little bit of chocolate chips. I'll show you how to serve these up in just a few minutes.